What's in the box? What's in the fucking box?
Hello and welcome back to What's in the Box. I'm Jack, you're watching Hitthesnake. Today I received a weirdly shaped package, and it's packaged very strangely because it's got actual packing tape instead of like a box or even a envelope around it. It's weirdly shaped and it sounds like there's kind of a lot in it, but obviously I'll get to opening it in a moment. I also am not drinking coffee today because it is quite late at night, and instead of drinking coffee to keep me up all night, I'm just drinking tap water, the finest vintage year of tap water. I'm going to take a drink of that. Now, obviously you know what's inside the box, but I don't, so hopefully my reaction will be enough just to sustain it. If you are enjoying knowing what's in the box before I open it and it just being an unboxing series, let me know what you think down in the comments. I think it works a little better because it kind of draws the eye in more. You just want to see what the contents of the box are than what's inside them. So I'm going to get to this and open it up straight away. This is going to be really hard to open, but I'll get to it. It's literally bubble wrap with just tape around it. There's no box. So here we are. What we have is the entirety of the original Tomb Raider series on the PlayStation 1. And wow, it's really great to have all these lined up in front of me. I've actually never done this before. While I own 2 and 4 already on the PlayStation, I actually own all of these games on the PC. But I've never had them lined up in front of me in this way, and I've always wanted to own them all on the PlayStation console, so it's really good to finally have them all, and they're all black label, which is really nice. This is actually a very strange PAL box, as you can see. It's got no black labeling. That's before the PlayStation kind of became what it was in the late 90s. Hopefully all the manuals are in there. I'm going to take a quick check for that. Yeah, there's Tomb Raider, the first manual. Fantastic game. Recently we've probably been doing a bit of play of that on the channel, the PC version. The disc is in reasonable condition. That's Tomb Raider there with a green disc. Tomb Raider 2 I already know has a red disc, and yes, finally, good, it has its manual as well, which is fantastic. Great game, probably the best Tomb Raider out of the original series in my opinion. Realistically, it's probably actually the best Tomb Raider game of the entire series. It's the first one I ever played as well. It's so cool to finally have all these though in front of me. I'm going to just put that over there for the moment. Open up number 3, which also has a green disc, strangely enough, the same as the first game. That one actually looks really badly printed. Tomb Raider 3 is the weirdest in the series. It has a colour manual as well, conversely. These two have black and white manuals, as you can see here. There's a good bit of colour. Tomb Raider became such a cultural icon around Tomb Raider 2 and Tomb Raider 3. It was huge when Tomb Raider 1 came out, of course, but when Tomb Raider 2 and 3 came out, it was really just cultural meltdown at the time, 97 and 98. Very cool to have a colour manual though, that's interesting. Then Tomb Raider Last Revelation gets a lot of praise, but I actually think it's one of the worst in the original series. It's got a nice gold, orange, mustard coloured disc. There's a nice mustardy kind of coloured. Again, we've got a coloured manual, coloured in sand. But a lot of people love Tomb Raider Last Revelations. I don't think it's actually great. And then finally, this is my probably second favourite in the original trilogy, as it was the first Tomb Raider game I finished entirely on my own without using cheats. Because of course, the levels in these games are notorious for being hard. And it comes with a lovely blue disc. Sweet. So Tomb Raider Chronicles as well, and is the manual colour. Yeah, Jesus, colour manuals. It's a lost art, really, isn't it? Although a lot of it's black. But yeah, cool, sweet. So that is the entire Tomb Raider collection, which I now have in my PlayStation 1 collection. I'm quite a bit of a collector of the PS1. I've always been a big fan of the PS1 platform, as it's the first console I ever had as well. As a kid, I got my PS1 Christmas 2000, I believe. So it's quite nice to have all this in my collection now. But yeah, Tomb Raider Chronicles, Last Revelation, 3, 2 and 1. I'm going to have a quick look at all the back of these boxes. The boxes aren't in great condition. I actually think they probably got a bit of, as you can see, they got a bit of damage probably in the way that they were packaged. They weren't packaged in a fantastic way, if I'm being thoroughly honest. That Tomb Raider 1 box is really nice. Does it have that weird thing? Yeah, where there's no disc, there's no place to hold the disc in these parts. It's literally one disc, but they just wanted the boxes to be really flashy for their kind of flagship title games back when the PlayStation originally came out. And Tomb Raider would have been a huge push for the PlayStation, as it was quite an adult themed thing in a time when games were really just still for kids. So we're going to take a quick look at the back here. As you can see, there's some nice screenshots there. The ski on, her in her home at her swimming pool. That's awesome. Yeah, Tomb Raider 1. It's kind of it's like, I enjoyed the game because I played through it later on after playing the rest of them. It was kind of the last of the original series that I played. It's quite a strange Tomb Raider game because it doesn't have all the tropes that 2 and 3 made, you know, synonymous with the series. For instance, she doesn't have her iconic ponytail as she does in 2. In 1, of course, because they weren't able to get that working back in the older days. This Tomb Raider 2 is such a classic though. There we are, Venice with the boats up on the Great Wall of China shooting the eagles. Awesome. That's Tomb Raider 2 there. Tomb Raider 3 then is such a weird game, both in terms of its story and where it goes with the game. There's another crack there on the PlayStation 1 box. Be able to replace those though, thankfully. You go to like Area 51, you go to London, where she's wearing a full black leather outfit. You can do canoes, and there's a lot more vehicles in this game. As you can see, Lara there, she's fantastic. I believe that's Patrick's first Tomb Raider game that he properly owned as well. It's not the first one he played, but that was the first one he owned because it was new at the time when he got it. Right here we've got Tomb Raider The Last Revelation, which our channel has lots to do with Lara Croft. That famous video of Lara Croft on the Late Late Toy Show 99 was actually, she was promoting this game as it was coming out. So as you can see there, there's some screenshots. It's very much based in like sand and Egypt and that kind of thing. I'm not a huge fan of it, to be honest. I think it's only alright. I think it gets a lot more praise than it probably deserves. And Tomb Raider Chronicles, here's one that, an underrated game in the series, which is quite funny because these games came out before I show the back of this. I'll have a quick look at the back of this before I go on. Yeah, there she is up in the she goes to Natla Corporations, so you go to a high-tech place, you go to Greece in the Colosseums. Yeah, there she is. And you go to Ireland in this game, weirdly enough. You go to an island off the coast of Ireland, which is very interesting. So it actually has we have a bit of history linked to the Tomb Raider series because she goes to Ireland in one of her games. But what's so funny about this series is that really after the first and second game, the series started to wane. People weren't really interested in 3, 4 and 5. 4 kind of made a big marketing leap, so a lot of people were interested in that when it came out. But with Tomb Raider 1 and 2, it was huge. Like, Tomb Raider 1 came out, it was bought, it was the Prodigy were playing it at the time, and they were like missing recording sessions. A famous footballer who I don't know the name of, his name is on screen in a picture of him at the moment. He was actually missing training sessions, and the manager of his team and stuff at the time was like, nah, no more Tomb Raider for you, that kind of thing. He was obsessed with it. Tomb Raider 2 came out and then obviously sold really well off the back of Tomb Raider 1. The problem was these games came out, they were yearly. This was like one of the first yearly entry games in the world. So you had Tomb Raider 1 in 96, 97, 98, 99 and 2000 then, right? So these games literally just came out one after the other, which let the team, core design out of Eidos, had literally no time to kind of develop the game or develop the character. They just literally had, we have an engine, let's make 2 games off the back of that engine, let's upgrade the engine and make another 2 games off the back of that engine. There was just no time to develop the graphics, to develop the characters or the controls, or to make any of that stuff better. So they were under a lot of pressure from Eidos to just get the games out the door. We need yearly entries. And kind of what happened with Assassin's Creed is what happened with Tomb Raider. They more or less dug the game into the ground. Now I have a lot of fondness for these titles because I played them as a child and stuff, but at the time the reviews were bottlenecking. This one is still one of the better reviewed games of the entire series, and it just goes downhill every single entry all along. Even though it says here PlayStation Magazine Start Player gave this game a 10 out of 10, but it certainly didn't get a 10 out of 10 on, say, Metacritic or any of those type of things. Anyway, look, I'm finally happy though to have all the Tomb Raider games in my PlayStation collection. I think it's kind of like, it's one of those things really, if you have a PlayStation collection you need the Tomb Raider games, and I'll finally be able to sell on my copies of Tomb Raider 2 and Tomb Raider The Last Revelation. And yeah, I have my final, my original PlayStation Tomb Raider games. It's just funny to think that 5 Tomb Raider games came out in the PlayStation 1. It really was a loved series, and it's sad that it's kind of not as well remembered now as it was back then. Anyway, that's what's in a box. If you're enjoying this series, please do subscribe to the channel and like and comment down below, and let me know if you're enjoying it just being an unboxing and series, and I like to talk a little about each thing that arrives. So thanks very much for watching. My name is Jack, and goodbye.